that calls themselves progressive prepper.
Hey guys, how you doing? I just got back from a 5-day trip in New York and New Jersey, Pine Barrens, and a kayak trip around Manhattan. And this is the first time I've had this outside of my Jeep in quite a while, and a lot of people have been asking about it. They see it in other videos, and I thought I would take a couple minutes to show you more details of it, because usually when I show this in my videos, it's just inside the Jeep and the lid's closed, and you can't really see how it's set up. And like I said, a lot of people have asked about that, so this is a great time now that I've got it out to show you how this thing is set up. It's basically set up in a industrial, Pelican style Troxler, completely weatherproof box that I got on eBay. I got this for $10 on eBay. If you search around, you can find them. Down inside there are 5 Harbor Freight 35 amp hour batteries, sealed lead acid batteries. 5 of them run in parallel. As you can see, this is the positive side. I've got them looped with heavy loops, one to the other, and 5 times 35 amp hours. I've got a total of about 170 amp hours. That's 70, 140, and another 35 is 175 amp hours of battery linked up in here. Quite heavy. This thing is I can lift this, but it's difficult. So this thing is it is a beast. But these batteries are relatively cheap. So I've got that set up there inside, as you can see. Then up on top, I've got a solar charger. So I've got a 100-watt solar panel on top of my Jeep that comes in here. Here's my solar in, and I've got a couple lugs, positive, negative, on the outside. They run through, and when this is inside, I connect that to the solar panel. That then runs in and up into this solar charge controller, a Renogy charge controller, which then runs out to the bank. So as long as I'm in sunshine, I'm continuously topping off this bank right here. The other thing I've got in here is a NOCO Genius 7200 for AC charging of that. And you can see what I've got right here is I've got an AC in. So there's a male plug right here, which comes around. You have the back end of this is right here. Plug in the NOCO. The NOCO is then attached to the negative end, and then the far positive end of the bank, on each end of it. And I will now plug in. If I can get it. Got AC power right here. Plug that in. And if you can see this NOCO is turning on, and right now it's flashing 25%, but it's quite a bit harder than that. It takes a little while for this NOCO to set up, but you could leave this whole thing plugged in to AC power on the NOCO Genius, and it'll continuously top off your bank and keep it fully set up, which is a great thing to have. On the reason I took this out is on the trip out in the middle of the Pine Barrens in New Jersey during the night, I had some backpacks and packs piled up on the front seat while I was sleeping in the Jeep. And in the middle of the night, I heard something fall, and unfortunately didn't pay any attention to it. And I just thought, one of the packs fell over. Well, what happened is it fell over and down onto my rocker switches for my, spotlights on my on the rack, and my running lights on the front bumper. And it flipped those on, and I had no idea. And they ran all night. And woke up the next morning and realized, what had happened. And I had a completely dead battery out in the middle of nowhere. And thankfully, with this setup, what I did is I took the Noco Genius, I disconnected it, and then connected it to my vehicle battery, and plugged this into the AC out. And the bank actually, trickle charged all day long. The solar generator trickle charged my vehicle battery, and within 3 or 4 hours I was able to start up the Jeep. So it was a lesson learned for me. I do have an extra one of these that I keep the Jeep topped off with when I'm at home, when I don't run it for a while, and I should have brought that. I wouldn't have had to take this out of there, but having this in here saved the day and got me out of the Pine Barrens. So it was really helpful. So anyway, the other things I have in here, let me move this over, show you the front view here. So in order to run power, I have a 300 watt pure sine wave inverter that runs down just by sort of a little modified extension cord plugged into the AC here, but then it runs down and it comes down to this plug, which has a 1 outlet and 2 USB outlets. So I can, charge just about anything I want out of there. You run that off of this, running it off of this one. Over here, I have a 1500 watt modified sine wave unit. It's got USB over here. Turn that on. That comes down to this GFCI double outlet right here. You can run heavier duty things and heavier duty requirements off of that. I can run them at the same time if I need to. So if I'm running something that needs, sensitive electronics, things like that, I would run it off of the 300 watt pure sine wave inverter. Got a little switch here that shows the capacity of the bank, or the voltage of the bank, not the capacity, the voltage. I'm right now at 13.7 volts, so I'm pretty well topped off, and that way I can always monitor this for low voltage draw. I've got a 12 volt DC out that I can run into for that. The entire box itself is lined with 1/2 inch rigid foam insulation, just to keep it protected from the heat and the cold when it's sitting in the Jeep for extended periods of time. And then I have a little box up here mounted where I keep extra supplies, stuff like that. I keep some extra DC cords, a little thing. I keep a little cheap voltmeter in here, testing, stuff like that. That fits in there. And then there's some little brackets down in here. This whole thing sits down in there, That's how it's this is how it's normally set up. I don't have a whole lot of excess in here, but when I do need to work on the battery or something like that, like I can, as you saw, I can lift it up, get in there, access things like, you know, connections and stuff like that that are tucked down in there. And like I said, typically that sits like that. The Noco, whole thing goes like that. This is the shelf that sits up on here. You can work from it. This is set up on Velcro, so it's not a permanently attached thing. See, it goes like that. Whole thing clicks down. I can lock it. Waterproof, you know, for the most part. It's not waterproof, but highly water resistant. I got everything here on covers and, you know, little gaskets, so this could be out in the rain. This could be out in the rain for days. This one I have no worries about whatsoever. I mean, it's basically a watertight Pelican box. You could sit outside for days in damp conditions, and that's what I made it for. Do a lot of you know, canoe trips, kayak trips, and stuff like that. And you got to be ready for rain. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. Give me a like, subscribe to the channel. If you want to know more about this solar generator and how it's set up, how I use it in the field, just drop a comment and ask any questions you want. I'll be happy to give you you know, more information about this. But this has really I'm just so glad I set this thing up and built it, and very useful in the on overland trips. Okay, over and out. Enjoy the outdoors.